It's not about you being the best branch or the most hardworking branch. It is recognizing that you have been placed in the garden in the first place. Unlocking the miracle mindset is recognizing that you have a vine dresser, that there is an owner of the garden. If you want to experience miracle, then you got to lose yourself and make God everything in your life. If you look at verse 5, this verse just reinforces what I'm trying to say. It says, apart from me, that is, cut off from vital union with me, you can do nothing. Exactly. We are nothing without God. And the right mindset to experience a life of miracle is identifying that if God is not all, then He is not God at all. God is all in all. In my life, God only came to the picture. An exception only came to pass. The approval only came about the moment I started losing myself in the process and getting and going out of the picture that God is preparing. When I was trying to just push myself, when I was just trying to work hard and strive and try to prove myself, the more the miracle did not happen. But the moment I lose, that's when I started winning through God working in my life. It's a paradox, right? Because in the Bible, it's when you lose that it's when you win. It's when you are weak, that's when you are strong. That's the mindset of living a life of miracle. It's recognizing that miracle is all God given. It's all about Him. There's one question I placed here in my notes. Let's say God will ask you to let go of the dream that you've been pursuing. And He will say, stop doing that, just stay put where you are. Are you willing to do it? If God asks you to give up probably the bonus that you have been praying for, and suddenly it's there, but then suddenly God says, give it up, give it to me, give it for the house of our King. Are you willing to give it? That is a kind of question that makes us assess whether is God really our all? Because if we're not able to let go of that, then our focus has been the goal and not God. If you are willing to let go when God asks for it, then that's a clear testament that you are indeed just focusing on God. I remember Brother June saying, when he was preaching that he did not have money to buy milk for his child, but God asked him to give. And he was raising his hand. I don't know if you can remember this. He was raising his hand, and he also doesn't have money. But God told him, just give the watch. And in his mind, Lord, this watch is what I will, I think, prenda, for him to get money to buy milk. But God asked for it. In his response, he was still willing to give it. Brothers and sisters, that's the kind of mindset that unlocks miracles. When you are willing to just let go, even what you have been praying for. Talk about Hannah. She's been praying for a child. But the moment she had a child, God asked for it. And Hannah, in her right response, offered Samuel. And in return, remember the story, she gave birth to 2 more, I think 3 more. Remember Abraham. He prayed for a son. And God gave him a son. Suddenly, God asked for it. In his right response, he also did. Because these people, I'm telling you, has the mindset of miracle. Focusing not on the goal, focusing not on the gift, not on the bonus, not on what they can get, but focusing on the giver himself. Recognizing that we may be able to bear fruit, evidences of our faith, be it bonus, be it increase, be it promotion. All of that will be nothing without the gardener or the vine dresser allowing it. The mindset that opens up miracle life, brothers and sisters, is recognizing that God is all in all. Let me bring you to verse 8. Verse 8 says, "My Father is glorified and honored by this when you bear much fruit." Indeed, bearing much fruit, having all these blessings, even in my life, getting promoted to a senior manager and being sent here even if there's a travel restriction with my family, it's not for us to be glorified, but it's for God to be glorified through our lives. You see, the evidence of the fruit, or the evidence of the faith, which is the fruit, the blessings that we are experiencing, should all direct towards God. When the blessings and the dream and the goal you've been pursuing doesn't direct to God, then you gotta be revisiting it, because it's not a miracle. It's not a miracle happening, waiting to happen. In fact, just like what the verse 2 mentioned, the Father can take it away. The Father can prune it away. You know, I look it up scientifically. When it says pruning, there's actually 4 things when it's pruning. There's deceased, removing the deceased, removing the damage, removing the dead, and removing the deranged. There are times that we're just crazy about our dreams. There are times when we are just crazy, catching up, running around after our goals. The Father will prune it away. You'll be real. You might be surprised. Why God will not give this dream? Kahit anong hirap mo, hindi talaga maibigay. Probably God is pruning it away. Are you with me? Probably God is taking it away because you're not yet the right vessel. You got to focus on God, Him being all in all, and not on the goal. It was a humbling experience the past 2 years for my family, because there were times when we thought that we deserved it because we worked hard for it. But that's exactly what God doesn't like. When you involve yourself in the situation, in the fulfillment of the dream, and you will see it in the history of the Bible, when you involve yourself in the fulfillment of the dream, all the more the dream will not happen. And the moment you lose yourself, that's when He can come into the picture and make it happen. Let's open Hosea 14:8. This is good. Hosea 14:8 says, "With me," God is saying, "your fruit is found." With me, your fruit is found. That's amazing. But just give me a few minutes because I have kids, you know. With me, your fruit is found. That for me is a revelation. Because brothers and sisters, just like what I said, no? We may be the branches. We may be the ones who are called to bear fruit. But it will be nothing without the vine dresser. And Hosea 14:8 just says, "With me, your fruit is found." The evidence of our faith is not found in the company. The evidence of our faith is not found in our friends or bosses. The evidence of our faith is found in God. Unlocking the miracle mindset is identifying that God is all in all. I forgot to mention this, but in the Mindset 1 Greater, Brother June Agustin's company really blessed us, kami ni Hani, when their company name is Gigafold. That's the kind of mindset that I'm referring to when you say greater. They don't just look at 30, 60-fold, or 100-fold. They just went, go, and gigafold. You know what gigafold is? That's 1 and 9 zeros. You don't even know how to read it because it's 9 zeros after 1. That's the kind of mindset that opens up miracles. And as you can see in their life, no? Miracles after miracles. I mean, 1 million just to give it away, that's amazing. That's the kind of mindset. Believing and not putting a limitation to God opens up a life of miracles. Moving on to my third point. Let's go to verse 3. John 15, verse 3. It says in the word, "You are already clean because of the word which I have given in you, the teachings which I have discussed with you." You see, God was saying, Jesus was saying, that the Father prunes repeatedly those who are bearing fruit so they can bear fruit. And then Jesus focused his attention towards his disciple and said, "You are already clean because of the message that I have given you." To me, while meditating on that, just makes me realize that it was actually his messages. It was actually his word that prunes them, that cleanses them, that prepares them for miracles. If you look at verse 7, and just our key verse now, "If you remain in me and my words remain in you," that is, if we are vitally united and my message lives in your heart. You see, my message lives in your heart. You know, prior verses actually was saying, "If you remain in me and I remain in you." Here, he changes it a little bit because knowing that he will no longer be with them for after some time. No? He said, "If you remain in me and my message lives in your heart, ask whatever you wish." So there's power in the word. There's power in the message. Verse 3, it tells us that it was the power of the word that prepares them to live a life of miracles. In verse 7, it was the preceding verse before he said, ask whatever you wish. That's okay. Ask whatever you wish as long as my message, Jesus is saying, lives in your heart. The third mindset to unlock the life of miracle is living according to his word. You have one, always looking for greater things. Second, focusing God, being all in all. And third mindset is to live according to his word. And when I say word, I'm referring to Rhema, revelation, and logos, things that we read in the Bible. While meditating, I remember that seminar that Jenny attended, where one of the businessmen, Dodong, I think his name, was talking about the success of his business. One statement that really caught our attention when he said, all insights or tricks that you need to know how to run your business and make it successful is found in the Bible. That struck me because it's true. The Bible may be thousands years old, but every time we read it, it gives you powerful message. It gives you encouragement. It gives you direction. It gives you guidance. When you're lonely, it gives you comfort. When you're brokenhearted, it gives you comfort. When you're looking for an answer, it gives you an answer. That's the power of the word. And I remember found in Luke 5:5-6, and this is when Jesus was calling the first disciples around, when he called Simon. Luke 5:5-6. But Simon answered and said to him, "Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net." Remember, Simon is a fisherman, and he has been working so hard, striving, giving all his best the whole night. But they caught nothing. When he was doing it by himself, he caught nothing. But look at the phrase, at your word, I will let down the net. Look at what happens in verse 6. And when they had done this, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. Brothers and sisters, the key to unlock miracle is in His Word. When you listen and obey and live according to His Word, just like what Peter did, at your word, I will let down the net. From nothing to something that almost is breaking their net. Abundance, overflowing, miracle. From nothing to a life filled with miracles. The projects of faith, just like the sanctuary, is not an output of daydreaming, but it's an output of prayer and a result of revelation. The third point in unlocking the miracle mindset reminds us that before we move, we need to heed God's word. Before we take a first step, before we even invest, before we even do something new for our, achieving our dream or achieving our goal, you got to seek God's word. There must be rema. There must be prodding. There must be a go signal from God to tell you that it's ready to go. Because when you do that at your word, at His word, you will then experience miracle. Brothers